So a power question is simply a question that you can use, and it's almost like having a tool in your tool belt. It's a tool that you can use on a daily basis to be able to help redirect your focus. So when you tend to go down that negative road of, well, it's going to be a lot of work to build the business. Can I really do it? Is it going to work out? We can be able to have that power question consciously shift our thinking to more of a positive question.
Hello everybody, welcome to Mindset Simplified, and this show is going to introduce you to those mindset experts and most successful people from all over the world who will share their experience of most challenging situations in their journey and how they managed to overcome, so that you don't need to actually do the same mistakes again, rather focus on your growth to make way for highest level of success in your life much faster. And today's guest is Scott Gaas, he's a dear friend of mine who started his career as staff sergeant in United States Air Force. However, he discovered his true passion was to inspire and change lives. That is the starting point of his international speaker journey. For over last 12 years, he conducted more than 1,000 trainings across 25 countries for companies like IBM, Google, Salesforce, and many more Fortune 500 companies on how to achieve that vibrant health, make more money, and attain peak performance. He also authored a book, which we are going to share the details very soon. He has traveled all over the world and worked with world #1 success coach Tony Robbins, who mentored many US presidents and sports stars like Bill Clinton, Serena Williams, Leonardo DiCaprio. And help me to welcome Scott Gaas. Hi Scott, how are you doing?
Amazing. Thank you for being here. I'm really excited to be on your show today.
Thank you so much for your time, Scott. First and foremost question which always keeps running in my mind is, what made you to actually move from Air Force, United States Air Force, to something what you're doing, this international speaking journey and impacting people?
Well, it was many years ago when that happened. And like many people, when people change, it's usually because of pain. So it was me moving from the pain of not having what I wanted to really being able to move somewhere where I wanted. So the major shift for me was being able to figure out, okay, what I really wanted, and then also figure out what I really didn't want. And then what made the jump for me was an event I went to. So that was back in 2006. I went to my first Tony Robbins workshop, and Tony grabbed me and shook me up and said, you got to make a change. So I left my Air Force career, and then I went to work with the Tony Robbins group for about 8 years, where I travel around and I would speak every single day to entrepreneurs, business owners, sales professionals on the value of being able to switch your mindset and the value of having peak performance. And it was very challenging at first, but once I really got clear on my purpose, which was to be able to bring value to people and to really be able to share an event with people that truly helped their life. And then once you're able to bring value and be able to be on purpose, things seem to be a little bit easier.
Wow. I see many people coming to me and saying that I really want to change, but then, they're always in that, they got stuck in the mindset that, okay, I've got some comfortable income right now, at least that's paying my bills, and they are frustrated within whatever they're doing. But what was the thought process behind in taking that decision? What was the tipping point when you said pain, right? What kind of pain pushed you to take the decision?
Well, it was just me wanting to be able to live more of my purpose. So I discovered my purpose very early in life by accident, and also by paying attention to where life took me and the path that I was on. But I was in the Air Force, which was awesome. I was serving the country and I was part of the military, but I truly didn't feel like I was making an impact on a daily basis. So for me, back then, it was really finding my purpose. But if you ask me that question today, it would be a completely different answer, because here's the challenge, right? Most people don't take that step because of fear, as we know, but also most people don't take that step because of not really knowing what they want. So what happens is most people in life don't understand what they value or what's important to them. So if you don't know what's important to you, how you can actually take some action to get what you want. So to think the first thing for most people today, because there's so many opportunities, and you can have a great life by working, 9 to 5 in a job, but most people want to be able to have that freedom or that entrepreneurship. And you have to first know what they want, really be clear on what their true values are, which most people don't know today.
I mean, where do they start actually to even know the value? See, I mean, most of the people, like you said, most commonly people know that they're about, they're really fearful. But the second and very important point you made, that they don't know where to start, right? For such kind of people, and mindset is first block. The second thing is a lack of familiarity, lack of understanding about that particular thing, what they want to do. For example, coming from Air Force to getting into speaker, becoming an international speaker is a huge jump, right? So what kind of initial thing that they need to look at? Do they really need to look for a mentor, or do they really need to look into some kind of research they should do? What kind of suggestion you give in terms of starting the first step?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you're a business owner, or if you're getting into a business, 100%, you got to have a mentor, or how they suggest a coach, someone that you actually pay money to help you. Because if you pay money to a coach, there's going to be a higher chance you follow through on what actions that are given. Because what happens when I've done this for many years too, outside of Tony, is I would work with business owners one-on-one, and I would do consultations. And what most people did was they would go from their, high-paying job, and they would go straight from that job to a business owner, and they would go with a lot of passion. They maybe go with a great product or service, and they go with a lot of energy. But what would happen for most people is they would go from, a highly paid job working 40 hours a week, maybe making 100,000 USD, to working your business, working 60 hours a week or 80 hours a week, making the same amount of money, pretty much working hard, but not being able to make the right decisions or take the right path to get there faster without a coach or mentor. So I highly suggest, if you're in any area of life, you should have a coach or a mentor to get you there and help you get there. So from my experience with Tony Robbins, what helped me is we had a very high level, high quality coaching environment. So what we would do is, as a team, we'd go out and we'd watch each other present and sell, and then we give each other feedback, right? From a positive, loving place, non-judgmental place, to be able to help people move forward. So you definitely need a coach, you definitely need a mentor. As you're selling, as you're building your business, it's good to have somebody there as well to be able to help you be able to become good at things you're not good at. And another problem business owners do, is you've seen this too, is they tend to do everything, right?
Yes.
Because if you start a business, like it or not, you're going to have to be a leader. You got to be a sales professional. You got to be a marketer. You got to be able to have some systems. You got to be able to manage time. You got to be able to do HR. You got to do payroll. You got to do it all. And there's nobody that's good at everything. So you have to be good at outsourcing as well, and finding people in your team that can help you.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, because every time I had mentor in one aspect of my life, that particular area has flourished like anything. I used to make progress just like that. But I mean, having somebody like Tony Robbins, world's #1 success coach, right? I mean, probably getting mentored by him and his principles, how much it was impactful in your progress as an entrepreneur, also as an international speaker.
Well, it was huge. It doesn't have to be Tony Robbins. We all don't have Tony Robbins in our corner, right? So it could be, maybe a local successful businesswoman or businessman, or somebody that you look up to as well to mentor you. But the thing that really helped me was Tony, but what happened for me, I was every single day, unconsciously, I was actually going through this sales script to move people to Tony Robbins live events. And the whole sales script was about emotional mastery, about mastering a mindset, about mastering our physiology. So what happened for me, speaking about this for thousands of times, unconsciously programmed me to be more successful and to think differently in life.
Wow.
So
I mean, I think
we got to program that mind, right? No matter where you are, whatever you want to master it, it's the mindset too, which has been, been used many times in life, the mindset, but it's really more than mindset too.
I mean, this is another most common question I always get. They say, I'm not able to control my mind, and it's so difficult. When I really want to go into a new path, my mind, literally holds me back, saying that, hey, stay there, right? That kind of a thing. How do they actually, beat the hell out of the mind, which is trying to keep in the comfort zone?
Right. So I'll give you a quick strategy. And this strategy right now, if you use this, it'll change your life. And it's called power questions, right? So what we do, as we know, is all we do throughout the day is we ask ourselves questions, and then we answer that question. And usually what happens is when we get on the verge of being able to start that new business, take that new step, be able to step into a different version of us, what happens, fear holds us back. But what happens is usually we talk ourselves out of that step. And the way we talk ourselves out of that step is the questions that we ask ourselves. So a question could be, what if it fails, right? What if it doesn't work out? What if I'm not able to make enough money to support my family? What if I look bad? What if people make fun of me, right? These are reasons people don't start a business. And if we ask ourselves that question, what we're going to do is answer. So a power question is simply a question that you can use, and it's almost like having a tool in your tool belt. It's a tool that you can use on a daily basis to be able to help redirect your focus. So when you tend to go down that negative road of, well, it's going to be a lot of work to build the business, can I really do it? Is it going to work out? We can be able to have that power question to consciously shift our thinking to more of a positive question. So the way you use this in life is, what you want to do is design 2 or 3 power questions that can be able to fit your life. So for me, for example, a power question for me is, what can I learn from this experience? What's great about this experience? How can I grow from this experience? So have 2 or 3 power questions, and when things come up in life, when things go wrong, which they do, is you'll be able to pull up that power question and be able to reframe, refocus your mind, and then be able to ask yourself a better question, and then get a better answer. And then what happens, you put yourself in a different emotional state with a different way of thinking, which can be able to move your life in a different direction by the way you ask questions.
Wow. Okay. So
very simple,
yeah,
but also very effective by being able to have power questions when things go wrong. And here's what this will do for you. This will be able to not only be able to affect you going for a job or a business, but it will also be able to affect every moment of your life. Because that's all we do all day long, is we ask ourselves questions. And most questions we ask are negative. So if you have those positive questions, it can be able to affect you going to the gym more. It can be able to affect you showing up better relationships. It can affect you making more money. It affects everything by questions. Yeah.
This is a powerful strategy, Scott, actually. So the moment we change, right questions leads to right answers, which means the moment we ask the right question, the mind will start focusing on actually getting the answer. In that process, our emotional state will actually become more empowered than getting into the fearful, right?
100%. And that can be used, the power questions could be if you're stuck. If you're stuck in maybe trying to figure out how to market your business or how to get over a problem, right? By asking that power question over and over and over, Tony calls it 1, 2, 3 many. And 1, 2, 3 many simply means by asking yourself the right question, you get yourself on a roll of finding answers. You find one answer, you find two answers, you find three answers, and then usually from there you find a bunch of answers, right? But asking the right questions can also get you unstuck in certain situations too.
It's kind of a spiraling thing, right? Whether we actually use the right question, it will continue to lead to more right questions, more right answers, and then we'll become into the zone of constructive zone. Otherwise, we actually kind of get into the fear zone, right?
Yeah. So it's one of my steps. I created a system of steps of like how to be able to achieve peak performance. And peak performance doesn't just mean making more money. Peak performance is how can we be able to, show up the best version of us? How can you be able to be a leader in your family and be a leader in your business? How can you be able to just, be able to show up with that little bit more energy or confidence or certainty to be your best in any situation? Because, really most people don't succeed simply because how they feel, right? If they feel bad, they're not going to do it. If they feel upset, they feel disappointed, they feel frustrated, they're going to show up that way. And usually people are going to respond to them based on how they show up as well.
And when you actually, I've seen, you are a peak performance strategist, right? What kind of people you generally encounter? Because people can easily connect, right? What kind of people, what kind of excuses they'll bring in when you actually start training them?
Well, people have a lot of excuses, but it's all about kind of minimalizing the excuse, right? So most people will come in, they'll say, well, this sounds great, but I have no time to condition myself on a daily basis. It takes too much time. So minimalizing, saying, okay, so you're telling me, right? You don't have 30 minutes to be able to condition yourself to be your best and then be able to make more money from there, be a better father, be a better son, be a better influencer from 30 minutes. So you kind of minimalize things for them to keep them on track. I mean, that's a coaching skill, but really when it comes to coaching or influencing or even selling, if you know what's truly important to people, they won't come up with the excuses. So if you are truly clear on what's important to this person you're working with, their freedom for them, maybe their family, maybe be able to travel, maybe to be able to speak, maybe to be able to give back, maybe that's contributions important to them. If you really are able to clear with somebody what they want, what happens when the excuses come up, you can kind of bring them back to what's important. So I really don't let people give me excuses because most likely that's a pattern of theirs they've been living their whole life. If they have excuses now, they probably have a similar excuse that shows up in their relationships and their business and their health probably for their whole life.
Absolutely. Because
and you know that, right? So it's
I am there. I mean, when I start giving excuses, especially on a day when I didn't want to do yoga, so many excuses comes into my mind. And I mean, the moment I entertain a little bit, for sure, I'm skipping yoga for the day. But it needs that kind of accountability around it, which actually pulls you back, because nobody is perfect, right? We can see these patterns continuously coming in. But I mean, coming to that, the moment I talked about yoga, this got into my mind. What is the role of the health and, to work out on the mindset? If you have the right health, I know for sure you'll have right mindset. I mean, is it really related, both of that?
Well, I've been doing some amazing work, which is a little different than what we were used to in our society here with personal growth and motivation. Mm-hmm. And it's about really being able to understand our values and understand what's important to us. I'll give you a fun example. So I have a buddy of mine, I've known him for about 15, 16 years. And if you talk to him or even actually see all the money he invests in health, you would think, okay, this guy has to be in great shape. But if you see him, he's about 40 to 50 pounds, probably about 20 to 30 kg overweight, right?
Okay.
And what happened was, even though he talks about fasting, he talks about ketogenic diet, he buys the infrared lights, he buys the sleeping machines, he buys the best water, he buys the best food. If you think about him, why for the last 15 years I've known him, he hasn't been able to lose weight, right? So what happened for people is, number one, they don't know what they want. They think they want to know what they want. So for example, for him, he thinks he wants to be able to lose weight, or he thinks he wants to achieve a certain body, but the truth is, it's really not important to him. If it was really a true value of his and really important to him, he would have it by now. Okay, so you can say, well, if somebody has something that's really important to them and they don't have it yet, there's still a disconnect. So here's a disconnect for most people in the world today. Most people think they want something for years and years and years. It could be financial freedom, it could be financial independence, it could be six-pack abs, it could be that relationship. They think they want something, but the truth is, if they don't have it, they truly don't value it. So what we have to do is we have to be able to take our goal and be able to attach actions that are aligned with our value to reach our goal. So for example, if someone says, hey, I want to be able to, I really value health, right? Health is really important to me. Health is important to me, being young, looking good, being energetic, but then you smoke cigarettes. So does your health really important to you? Probably not. So we have to be able to figure out, okay, how can the actions that you take on a daily basis, could be not smoking, right? How can the actions of not smoking connect that action to your true value of health? So it's being able to link the true value, what you really want, be able to link those actions to it. And then once you know on a daily basis that your actions are going to lead you to something special that you truly want, you're naturally going to be more motivated, more excited, more pumped up, and more ready to go and take more action because you know what you truly want. So most people are conditioned by, what are we conditioned by today?
The habits.
Right, we're conditioned by, well, mostly we're conditioned by what we see on social media, right? We see, we see jets, we see the cars, we know. And I'm talking to my buddy yesterday who owns a big solar company in Arizona. And he goes, and he gets a lot of young guys come to him, right? And he's like, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur today. He goes, everybody sees the cars, they see the jets. He goes, but they don't see me working 60 hours a week, right?
Yeah.
So, he works his butt off, right? Because that's the reality of it. But most people are conditioned by our parents, conditioned by social media, conditioned what we should have at this age by our social environment, right? So most people don't really want, they think they know based on what they see or what they heard from other people, but inside of them, they don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big, I take a lot of inspiration from your fitness, and I heard about you writing the book. Can you share some details? I'm really looking forward for that book for sure. I want to know what the book is all about.
Well, so peak performance is really three things. Peak performance is going to be your mindset, your thinking, is going to be your emotions, which, that power question can control your emotions, right? How you feel, right? And how you feel is important because if you feel good, you're going to take good actions. You feel bad, maybe not good actions. And then the third part, which really kind of drives peak performance, in my opinion, is your health, right? And to be healthy, it's a combination of how you think and also how you feel as well. But for me personally, health has been huge, and it's been like a foundation for me. So no matter what's going on in my life, like that could be uncertain, like COVID or a relationship or maybe a deal on a business side. Whatever is uncertain, I could always go back to health. So I have been for many years doing like the different diets, the different pills, the different shakes. But recently, I have actually discovered the last couple of years the power of taking time off of the body to not eat, kind of reset, kind of fast the body. So my new ebook is called 5 Steps to a Fasting Lifestyle, because fasting has given me more energy, more clarity, slow down aging, help me look better and feel better. It's like one of the best things I could probably tell people to do. So my book is an easy step where anybody can be able to slowly get into a fasting lifestyle. It talks about mindset, it talks about having a why, it talks about how to prep right, it talks about how to be able to get community support, which is really needed today, is community support. So I'm really proud of that because it's something that I've been teaching people for many years. And I love people, I'm sure, like you, I love when I share something with somebody and they actually do it and get the result.
Wow, man. I mean, see, I am a fitness freak, you know very well. And it is just that somehow I'm not into fasting as much as I should do. I've learned a lot about fasting and its benefits, but for some reason, I'm really not doing fasting as much as I should do. And I think your book is going to be my trigger to start that.
I will get you one. I'll get you one for you and your audience. What fasting have you done so far? Have you done like just like water fasting, or what have you done?
I did juice one, and another thing was I did 12-hour, right? The gap between 12 hours, one meal to the other meal, and in between pretty much water 2 times. And I mean, these things have really worked very well for me. And I've got another friend of mine who stays in Canada. He was doing like 8 days water and juice fasting. And I was pumped up, but I mean, you know, right? I mean, when that is something so new, I was not trying it out. But probably this is a reminder, right? Your book is going to be a reminder for me that, hey, this is the time to really start.
Yes. And there's so many great fasts. The idea for the book, and I'll share with you, is to get to what is called the King of Fasting. The King of Fasting is a water fast. So a water fast is, so everyone knows, a water fast is no juice, no coffee, no stevia, no sodas, no mineral water, no carbonation water, right? It is water only. And the idea to keep out the juice or keep out the cayenne and the master cleanse, all that stuff, the idea is to let your body have 3 to 5 days or 7 days, 3 to 7 days to heal. So your body's focused on one thing, not digestion. It's focused on healing the body, and your body's being the miracle it is. So there's a gap. I've done juice fasting too, which is really good. Juice fasting and then water fasting, there's definitely a gap. So I suggest you try a 3-day water fast one time. I think you could do it very easily, but well, not easily, but I think you could do it with at least effort.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. You know, right? I'm a really big fan of becoming fit, and I like to keep the body very light. As I said, I don't know, for fasting, I was not really overcoming my mindset limitation, but I think it's a reminder. It's a reminder.
Why not? Right? Yeah. I mean, there's some, you'll see there's a lot of studies coming out with a lot of books coming out this year on fasting. The gentleman who won the Nobel Peace Prize from Japan a couple of years ago, he coined this term called autophagy, which is actually a way to be able to fast and reverse aging, which is really great. So there's a lot of great research coming out on fasting now.
Yeah. I mean, when is the book is going to release, Scott?
Hopefully February next month.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited.
Things, yeah.
If I may ask, right, one thing which everyone needs in their life to actually start in, in the growth journey, growth mindset, and what could that advice be from your side?
Well, to start a growth mindset, it's good to have probably somebody who's been maybe find a partner or a mentor, somebody who's been in it for a bit, right?
Yeah.
The best way, the fastest way to be able to really grow if you are new to growth or even experience is through what is called the immersion experience. So if you can get into like, maybe a 3-day event, or maybe even a coach is really good too. Something to be able to give you that really personalized attention. Reading a book is great, doing Audible is great, but if you can actually be able to kind of live and breathe a strategy or technology for a while, it's very important. And I think for people that are new to personal growth as well, find a couple areas and then really dive into it. Maybe find like a mentor, like maybe a Tony Robbins, maybe a Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's pretty popular now. Find maybe a mentor or an area and kind of dive into it and master it for maybe 4 months, 5 months, and then go into a different area. Because what I think a lot of people, what they tend to do is they kind of dabble with things. Yeah. But to really get mastery and find one area, maybe one mentor, and kind of master his or her stuff for a bit, and then be able to put maybe 3-4 months into it, then move on to somebody else.
Wow, I love that. I love that. People, this is one of the best peak performance strategist I could get to you. And his words are really like gold and diamond, I could say. Like he said, number one, change your mindset. For that, the starting point is to start reading books, get into one of the events where, your mind is going to be shaken up, a new perspective is implanted. Then find a mentor to make sure that you have a guidance so that you actually jump into the new journey much faster and becoming successful. But otherwise, if you're really looking to be super fit or fasting or looking for an world-class mentor, make sure to connect to Scott, because Scott's all handles are right here in the description. And as soon as the book comes, you are the first people to know that, because I'm going to share that links here. But otherwise, if you've not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. And Scott, thank you so much for being on this channel and for this show. Your advices are really, really amazing. And really, I can't say anything because you kind of simplified every damn thing into, I call it as knowledge nuggets. You just pick up, eat, and then you get the result. So thank you so much, Scott.
So one more thing I say real quick, no matter what journey you're on, if you're on your new entrepreneurial journey, your health journey, your personal growth journey, whatever journey you're on, here's something I can give you that most people forget is be kind to yourself. Be kind. Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to get in, we're going to read this book, and you're going to be all motivated, and you're going to have breakthroughs and ahas, and you're going to go out and ready to take on the world, and then someone's going to say no, right? Someone's going to say no, or I don't want to do business with you, or your product sucks, or whatever they're going to say, right? It's going to happen. And then what's going to happen for you, or not for you, for the average person, what's going to happen is you're going to take that no, and you're going to beat yourself up, and you're going to say, oh, I can't do this. This is not for me. I'm not meant to do this. I can't have this money, this body, whatever it may be. Don't do that. Be kind to yourself. Understand, guess what? You know what? There's beauty in the failure, right? There's beauty in imperfections. And one more thing I'm going to say, how in the world can you completely love yourself if you do not like your failures? You got to appreciate your failures. You got to appreciate the dark side of you. You got to appreciate the side that you don't like. And when you do that, you're going to love yourself at a higher level. And then from there, I think that's like the ultimate journey as well. It's kind of how can we love ourselves more and be more of who we are.
Wow, this is something, it's like an icing on the cake. Love yourself, be kind to yourself, allow the failures to happen, and the journey is the beauty.
Yes, so true, Mike.
And also another thing is, on the channel, they've got Mindset Simplified, Entrepreneurship Simplified, and also, the series, wow. All these are there. Just kind of get into the zone where you're supposed to be, because the world's best people are coming right here and sharing their, experiences, how they could actually come in from a mere failure to one of the most successful in the world. Make sure to take those, experiences and use in your life, because that could be the starting point altogether. Otherwise, thank you so much, Scott, and thank you everyone for joining today. And I'm going to see you in the next episode of Mindset Simplified. But make sure to connect to Scott in all the handles that I mentioned. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. And we would say thank you and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you guys.
Bye-bye, Scott.